Micah Frankel for CageMinds.com. We are 24 hours away from the weigh-ins for Rockstar's Triple A MMA VII, Camel Rock Casino. Special guest joining us here at the end of the week. She's going to be in the main event. Thank you for the time, Natalie Roy. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much for the opportunity and for the interview.
So 24 hours out from weigh-ins, how you feeling?
I feel great. I was just hanging out at a pool earlier this morning and relaxing, and I feel great. This
fight, moving up a weight class, how much easier has this cut been then?
Like I said, I was able to hang out at a swimming pool this morning and just kind of relax. So it's a lot easier weight cut for me. The previous was at a 105 weight, and so I'm up 10 pounds from that, and it's a pretty easy cut for me.
You had the prospect of boxing, I believe, at Latin Collision. That didn't come through. How disappointed were you to not get back in the ring?
It was a hard situation. They did try to look for fights a number of times, and nothing just seemed to pan out. And the ones that did, just at the last moment, kind of fell through. So it was disappointing. I was able to go to the show and spend some time there and watch the fights in any case. And the Holmes are Patrick and Brandon are friends of mine, and we train together once in a while. So it was good to see them in the ring, and Tony Valdez as well. He's a friend of mine. So it was good to see them in the ring again.
It's been a few years since you've been in the ring. Is that still something that you want to get back into, or if the opportunity comes up?
I tried to do a boxing fight in November, and that card fell through right after the weigh-ins. The commission shut it down because of medical reasons. A lot of people didn't pass their meds. So I've been trying to stay active, and things have just kind of fallen apart at the last minute. So it's very frustrating and it's hard, but yeah, I'm still staying busy and training lots and keeping ready for whatever comes up next.
Well, it was disappointing that, like you said, you missed out on the boxing, but not a bad consolation prize. Now you're in a main event in your second MMA fight. What was it like when you got the offer to headline a card right away, this early stage of your MMA career?
I have a lot of friends and family in Santa Fe, so it was very exciting to get that call and to be asked if I wanted to take the main event because of my support group, and I think it was very exciting. And yeah, it's very early in the career. I know that in women's MMA it's very different than men's. You can move up faster than normally. So I'm excited, and I'm looking forward to putting on a good show.
Your opponent taking on Nohime Dennison. You both have pro boxing experience. A lot of people are looking for this to be a striking war. How do you assess the fight?
It's going to be interesting. Yeah, she's also done a lot of boxing. So yeah, it'll see what happens. I'm a striker. I love striking. I'm not afraid of the ground either. I've been working a lot of ground and jiu-jitsu and wrestling. So I'm getting comfortable and familiar with those areas as well. So we'll just see what happens, because I feel like I'm becoming pretty well-rounded and can do whatever's necessary.
What was it that made you transition from boxing to MMA?
Well, my heart is typically originally in Thai boxing. My school we work with Thai boxing, and I was not able to get any Thai boxing fights. I could go to California and get some, a fight maybe once a year. I had some friends in Virginia Beach that could give me some fights, again, maybe once a year. So it wasn't panning out the way I wanted to with Thai boxing. So I started just boxing, and then kind of fell into the MMA scene, just doing some more jiu-jitsu and training with other people, and then just kind of fell into this scene, and I love it. I'm hooked. Like I told Sal, I'm hooked. Once I started fighting with it, and it's great experience, and lets me show what I'm able to do striking and on the ground and whatever else.
A hard weight cut last time, a tough opponent, and an overwhelming performance by yourself. What was that whole period like, the weigh-ins and the fight last time?
The weigh-ins were miserable because I wasn't able to make the 106. My body just kind of stopped sweating about 108. So, yeah, I just kind of left it at that. I didn't want to injure my body, you know, any more than I had already done, just sitting in saunas and whatnot. So the weigh-ins were pretty miserable and not fun for me whatsoever. I was able to get some fluids in me, get some food in me, and then hydrate back at a nice pace. And by the time the fight came, I was pumped and I was totally ready to bring it to the cage. And inside the cage, I stayed pretty relaxed the whole time. I know it was my pro debut in MMA, but I was very comfortable and I felt good and I was relaxed the whole time. So it was an awesome experience.
Did you feel that weight cut at all? You didn't feel hampered, or was there that much of an adrenaline rush, kinda?
You know, it might have been the adrenaline, because I know even after, you know, a few days later, I still felt dehydrated, so I know I couldn't have been back 100%. So it must have been the adrenaline that just kept me through it and kept me focused and kept me calm and whatnot. Because you know, 2 days later, I still felt myself extremely dry skin and dehydrated. So yeah, it must have been adrenaline assisting.
And then walking out of that fight, when you got back into the gym, where did you really want to focus on?
Just continuing, kind of being a very well-rounded fighter, continuing the wrestling, continuing jiu-jitsu, and my stand-up, setting up different angles and different shots in all my work, if it's groundwork or stand-up or whatever.
Then you talked about the love of Muay Thai. Is there a chance that we could see you go back to that avenue, as there are promotions like Lion Fights, and it is starting to get bigger in the last couple years?
Yeah, there's always that possibility. With the organization that I'm with in Thai boxing, it's the Thai Boxing Association, and we have some awesome coaches and promoters out there that are wanting to get, you know, more pro female fighters out. So yeah, that's, you know, definitely a possibility.
And then you said it's your love. How long have you been doing it? When did you start?
I started doing Thai boxing probably, I think it was in '96, and just kind of been doing it ever since. I took maybe a year off from, but other than that, it's just been my love. It's helped me through some hard times and kept me focused, and it's just, I can't imagine my life without Thai boxing.
So what part of it was it that really got you hooked?
For me, it's about the competition and, you know, always being able to, or trying to always push myself, and you know, it's a heck of a hard sport. You know, I've been to Thailand a couple of times, and those guys there are small, my size are smaller, and they just, you know, they're able just to manipulate me and, you know, cut angles and dumps, and, you know, I love the art, I love the history behind the art. So yeah, it's just everything about it.
And then with your school and you being a coach, how do you find time to do everything that's probably on your plate?
It's hard. It's very hard. I'm always running around and juggling between training people, training in a class, and running a business. It's, you know, it's difficult, but I make it work. I live about 4 minutes from the gym, so that's helpful.
So wearing that coach hat, what do you like best about that?
I think really being a coach helps me as a fighter, because I'm able to see the mistakes and help correct mistakes with others, and then in turn I can try to see those mistakes in myself if they're apparent, or even if they're not apparent, try to always just push forward and be the best the best I can be. And a lot of times coaching somebody and explaining, you know, how to keep your hands up and your chin down, basic things, basic footwork will, you know, help me improve as a fighter as well, I feel.
Is it almost a constant reminder of the basics?
Definitely. I think when it comes down to it, the basics are you know, they're going to be your fundamentals, and, you know, without those, everything else can kind of just get convolved and messed up pretty fast.
Up there in Santa Fe, you got your gym. Who else are you working with?
So here in Santa Fe, I train at my gym a lot with, you know, with all the guys over there. I've been spending a lot of time at the Santa Fe Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Academy with Coach Tom Pless. He's been awesome. He's actually a really good friend of mine. I've known him for many, many years. So he's, you know, working with him is very exciting. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of female fighters here in town for me to work with, so I make my way down to State NHB and work with the girls there, Brenda and Amber, just because they're great to work with. And then for other additional sparring and help, Chris Luttrell has invited me to his gym and gives me some great work and wrestling skills and whatnot. So I'm kind of bouncing all over the place. It's interesting.
When you come into this fight, where do you want to have the fight?
I want to just, you know, be able to show my skills, do what I know how to do, and, you know, if it's in the tight clinch, great. If it's on the ground, you know, I'm comfortable there as well. I have a pretty wicked ground and pound game, and you know, I'm comfortable in any place. I'm feeling really positive and really good about this.
Amazing power in the clinch.
Yeah, I love the clinch.
What's something you got to get done in this fight to come out victorious?
That I got to get done. I'm just gonna bring home the win. You know, it's. I know what I need to do, and it's just, you know, dominate my opponent, and you know, do what I know how to do, because that's where I'm comfortable and that's where I'm nice and relaxed. And as long as I can stay relaxed and stay comfortable, then I got the win, no problem.
In one of the press releases when the fight came out, it made note of you're looking for your second win against a Jackson Wink fighter. Is that something that, was that just written, or was that something you had mentioned?
I think that was just written. You know, I understand the need for training partners and for fighters in New Mexico. It's kind of a small pool here, so you end up training with people and fighting with people from camps that you are friendly with. You know, I don't have nothing against the Jackson Winklejohn team. I used to spar Winklejohns a long time ago before they kind of went with Jackson's and that whole thing started. But no, I'm totally I'm fine with whoever. You know, it doesn't matter. I don't care if they're Jackson Winklejohns. It's just an opponent for me.
So you've been trying to be active, boxing's falling through, you'd like to do some Thai boxing, you're doing MMA. How many fights are you hoping to still get this year, halfway through the year?
I'm looking at 1 or 2 more fights this year, and then see how it goes. At least 2 more fights this year.
And then you're having that move up in weight class and moving up to strawweight. That's something that they're adding to the bigger companies. Did that play any influence when you thought about what weight you were going to fight at?
It did. I think 115 is more natural for me, being where I walk around at, and it's, you know, the 105 was a hard cut, and yeah, you know, the UFC does have the division now, so I missed the tryouts. I was caught up in family business, but yeah, maybe once somebody's a title holder in that, and then I can squeeze my way into the UFC and show them what I got.
Big things ahead. It's a huge spotlight coming up against another tough opponent. I'm sure there's people you need to thank, people that have helped you out. Go for that now.
Well, again, you know, at my gym, I'd like to thank all the people that helped me at Santa Fe Muay Thai. I know they've covered classes for me and done all that kind of stuff. So I'd definitely like to thank my gym and Santa Fe Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Academy, Santa Fe Gracie Blahat. Those guys there are awesome, and they're always pushing me and always helping me. Fit NHB, the Wild Bunch, those people are awesome. They're always, again, helping me. And then, of course, Chris Latrell MMA, they're being very supportive in whatever I need, they're there to help me with.
Thank you for the time, Natalie Roy. Triple A MMA Rockstars. She'll be meeting Nohime Dennison in the main event. We'll see everybody tomorrow at the weigh-ins. Fight night is just around the corner. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.